All right, folks, John Rush here today. My son Richard Rush behind the camera. We're going to do a review of the all-new for 2017. This is the Volvo S90. This is the T6 version of the car. There will be a T8 coming out that will have more horsepower. This particular vehicle, 2-liter engine, turbocharged, 316 horsepower. Some of the other reviewers out there have talked about it not having quite enough power. Frankly, I'm going to disagree, maybe just because of our elevation and where we lose power on naturally aspirated engines, and the turbo engines seem to do a little bit better. Maybe that's why for us it didn't seem to be such a problem for us. But this car works well, handles well, drives well, all-wheel drive, the slick conditions we get in Colorado from time to time, and it has got an array of safety features on it that you're probably not going to find, and I'll just say it this way, you're not going to find on any other car, and literally you're not, because of some of the things that Volvo has got going on. So let's take a quick walk around to start off with. Gorgeous looking car. Volvo, loved the car, had tons and tons of compliments on how well this car looked. Up front here you've got what they call their, make sure I say this right, the Thor Hammer headlights, the LED headlights, and they just look beautiful whether you're in the daytime or the nighttime with them on. The car just looks absolutely gorgeous. I love, by the way, this light blue color on this particular car. Really, really a beautiful car. And once again, got numerous comments on how well the vehicle looked. And I'll show you when you come around to the back some of the things that I really like. Love the lines as it comes around the back, the way they've integrated the taillights in. I love the license plate deep being down below, not up here on the trunk, which a lot of people put the trunk, you know, the license plate right dead center in the trunk, which by the way is really ugly. Putting it down below just looks so much neater. Love the way the exhaust incorporates into the rear bumper. They've just done, and as far as I'm concerned, looks-wise, a fabulous job on this car. Third brake light LED up above here. Car looks great, and as we get into it, and I hope you'll be able to see this as we get into the review, the car runs and drives, frankly, as great as it looks. $66,000 on this particular vehicle, and I realize for some you're going to say, wow, that's really expensive. Well, this is basically a full-size luxury sedan, and Volvo, you're competing very well in the market. I'll just say that right off the top. There's other vehicles in the market for the same price, but honestly, you're getting a lot more for your money with this car than you are in some of the competitors. Let's get right into that, and I'll show you why. All right, I want to get right now into the rear trunk portion of the, again, 2017 S90. This is the T6 version of the car. And one thing Richard mentioned as we stopped the recording there for just a minute is the fact that everything is all nice and sleek, and yet your trunk button is right underneath. Push it, automatic opening, and it pops right up, and it'll come down all by itself as well. You can do that here. You can unlock and lock things also with that button there. And you'll just notice very, very, very spacious trunk. I did the Costco run over the weekend for a lot of the supplies we use in the office and such, and very, very spacious. It does have the ability to lift up this compartment here in the back where you'll notice the spare tire and a little bit of room around it. Not a lot, but you could put some med kits and, you know, some small things along those lines inside there. Anyways, just really, really nice, spacious trunk. Pass through in the middle, or if you got skis or something that you want to push through without putting a roof rack on. Which, by the way, we don't mention this near enough. As I come around the side, I do want to mention, we don't talk about this on some cars enough. Not all cars have this, but speaking of roof racks, if you want to put a roof rack on, Volvo's giving you a nice, you know, basically nuts that are already built into the car where you basically would put the ski rack, your bike rack, whatever on, and it all fits right into there. But while I'm in the back, let me just hop in, get the snow brush moved out of the way. And as you'll notice, this seat's all the way back. This seat's set for about a 5'10" driver. And as you can tell, I got a good, you know, 8-10 inches of room in between me and that particular, you know, my knee room and the seat in front of me, I should say. Vents back here. And again, even with the sunroof option, not super low back here. Apportionments throughout. Very, very nice. Again, sunshade, which is built right in. They've just done, honestly, folks, a beautiful job on the interior of this car. It's soft, it's elegant, it's nice. Frankly, I think it's quiet. Some reviewers have complained about the all-wheel drive and the aggressive tires that some of these cars have being a little bit noisier on the inside. You know, I guess there's some trade-offs when you get aggressive all-wheel drive, knowing you can go anywhere you want to go. Coming from a guy like myself that's a truck guy, you know, typically I'm pretty anal when it comes to the noise in the interior of a car, and frankly, I thought this car was pretty quiet on the inside, so I'm not going to knock it much in that area. does have a center console that flips down back here, and it does actually open up where you can put a few small things in. Not really a cup holder here, just more of a kind of a shelf thing, if you would. You've got your vents back here and the ability to control the speed for the rear passengers back here, along with that. Oh, and you do have, sorry, Richard just pointed out, you do have cup holders back here that slide out, but not in this particular area here. They slide out from the shelf area. And again, ductwork back here in the back, or venting, I should say. So you've got it in the middle, on the side. Really, as far as rear passengers go, you know what? This is the ticket as far as sitting in the back. And the sound system in this car sounds absolutely fantastic. Let me hop to the front seat. I'll talk about that, the center stack, and some of the cool features that are there. And then we'll get into some of the safety features. It'll take me a little bit to explain, but this car literally has just an array of safety features to make sure you, your family, whoever's driving it, stays safe. All right, folks, now in the front seat, 2017 Volvo S90, and again, beautiful car. Love the way they've done the inside. We'll start with the outside panel. Apologize for some of the shadows, but you'll notice, again, very, very elegant, all soft touch, speakers all built in, 3 of them in that door, memory seats on the passenger side as well as the driver's side, two configurations there. Heated and ventilated seats in the front. Very, very nice the way they've done these. As far as the console goes, as we move down in here, not a huge console as far as storage back here goes, but one thing that I think they've done a nice job on is they do have 2 nice cup holders. And I will say one thing that's kind of slick, and I don't know, I doubt if they planned this, but the bigger iPhones, the Pluses, literally fit right on top in between that space, and you still have the ability, if you put it up here, to put your cups, your coffee cups, whatever, behind it, and it's a nice space for stuff to sit. You can put it up here as well, but man, honestly, driving, when you've got this closed here, it just fits really perfect and just sits right there, and it works out extremely well. I'll get into the center stack once we get into the driving portion. This car does have a sunroof. One of the things I do like and I love about this rear view mirror is there's no edge to this mirror. Again, just some elegant things that they've done to make the vehicle just that much more stylish. Love the wood grain. Love the way the steering wheel's laid out. One thing I will say, and again, we'll talk about this in the center stack, is this is a car that you better spend a little bit of time in it learning all the features so that you're not distracted driving down the road. Although, as we get into the safety features, I'm not sure that's really possible. We'll talk about that here in just a minute. I'll put Richard in the back seat. All right, folks, now I'm going to take a drive in the S90. Great vehicle, by the way, 2017 Volvo. Center stack. Let's talk about this for a minute. It's the portrait mode, if you would, where a lot of the manufacturers lay it out to the side. This is an up and down configuration, more of a vertical configuration. And you'll just see some of the stuff's very easy to navigate. If I want to change my HVAC settings and I want to go up to 70 or down to 66, press it, close it. If I want to do anything on the radio, you touch it. All of your radio stations that you would want to tune to, be it AM, FM, it's all right here. You just touch on your source. It would change your source over. You would scroll to wherever you want to go. Volume knob here. That part's pretty easily. Both your defrosters are here, but really everything else is built into the system, and there's your home button to take you back wherever it is you want to go. So if I want to touch on the fan speed and change any of my HVAC, touch that, brings up another menu, and away I go. Now again, there are some reviewers that talk about this being a very hard system to get used to learning, and I will tell you that if you're somebody like us that's in a vehicle every week, different vehicle, you're doing the reviews and things like that, yeah, it could be a little bit cumbersome that way because it does take a little bit of getting used to. Now, I will also say that this is going to be your only daily driver, day after day after day, or even if it's your wife's car and you get in it occasionally, or it's the husband's car and you get it in occasionally as a spouse driving, the reality is this doesn't take that long to learn. Once you're in the vehicle for just a little bit of time, you learn how the controls work. Really, it doesn't take that long. It's not that complicated. It's really a pretty seamless system to use. A lot of great features that I'm not going to get into. You'll notice right here on the screen, it does have Apple CarPlay built into it. Again, a lot of neat features that are in the vehicle or in the nav system, and literally it's a matter of swiping back and forth as to what you want to get through, much like we would use our cell phones, our iPads, our Android devices. This system is built very, very much the same way. So frankly, if you can't do this and you're a parent with young kids, just ask them, and I'm sure they could figure it out in about 5 minutes. That's about how easy it'll be for them to scroll through and figure things out. That's really how it's designed. Other nice things that I love on the vehicle, very, very nice, clean steering wheel. Not a lot of things in your face. It does have adaptive cruise and all that, which I'll get into in the safety features in a moment. All of your steering wheel controls, or windshield washers, turn signals, all that very, very close. Not a lot of other things here to pay attention to. Heads-up display, nice little screen in front of you to tell you different things that you want to see, from nav to what's going on with the radio, mileage, all those different things, which, by the way, our fuel economy has been into the mid to, even 26, 27 miles to the gallon driving this car. There are different modes, and I should show that here. The one thing about this car that did take me a little bit of getting used to is where the stop-start button is, for the engine itself. Typically, there's a push button up on the dash. This one is actually a knob that you turn off to stop, and you would actually turn to the right to start, and it would spring back. Your drive modes, of course, are here, and then your automatic on and off when it comes to stops, you control here, and then your emergency brake, which is all electronic, is there. Now, on to the safety things, and I'll talk a little bit about some of this as we drive, but literally I printed this off of Volvo's media site, and you will notice that there are so many things that this vehicle does, from city safety to pilot assist, which basically drives the car by itself, to run off-road safety, and then, of course, the connected safety things through the cloud. But really, the city safety technology, it'll even look, as you look at this pamphlet, it'll even detect large animals in front of you and automatically stop the vehicle to help you from avoid running into somebody or something. Here's a little stat that I did not know. 50% of all accidents that happen on our roads today, the driver never does anything to avoid the accident. No steering, no braking, nothing. They do nothing to avoid the accident. This car thinks for you and will literally help you avoid those accidents. All that technology that I just mentioned, you can go look it up on the website. I'm not going to get into every little minutia of what it does, but literally it is watching everything around you, adjusting accordingly, and if it sees you getting in an accident, or potentially getting in an accident, it's going to do whatever it can to possibly mitigate that accident, where in most cases the drivers themselves will not. So let's put it in reverse. We'll take a quick drive. One thing I do like is the surround view cam, where you can actually see what's going on next to you as far as curb lines, vehicles, people, kids, tricycles, bicycles, anything like that. You can see all of it that way, back right into wherever you want to go. Works out really, really well, and you can see from the lines exactly what direction you're going depending upon where you're moving the wheel. Put it in forward, same exact thing. It tells me now that I'm going to be moving forward. Is there anything in front of me? And as I take off, that'll go back to just a regular screen, and away we go. So we'll take a quick drive in the car. And again, as I noted earlier, 315 horsepower. Car runs, in my opinion, extremely well. It's actually a nice combination for this car. The automatic transmission works well, and some are going to say, where's the paddle shifters? Where's the stuff to really make it more high performance? Honestly, guys, I look at some of these vehicles with paddle shifters at times and wonder, why? Why are they there? I'm not driving this car in a racetrack, and I don't plan on drag racing this car with the car next to me. I just want to make sure I've got enough power to lean into traffic, get in and out when get in and out of traffic as I need to, merge on and off the off ramps. And you know what? If I want to make it to the next stoplight before the next guy, great, I've got that power. But I don't need paddle shifters and all the other things that go with a vehicle that you see on some of the quote unquote performance cars for me to want to buy and like that vehicle. This vehicle works extremely well. You can designate what gear you want to be in through the shifter here. And frankly, to me personally, that's all I need. Again, when you look at this vehicle, you look at the lines on it, you look at how well it runs, just the overall, and I'll just say this about Volvo on this particular car, the combination of this car, how it works, the rideability, the drivability, the control, and I've had some reviewers that I've looked at say, oh, the steering's too heavy. I can't believe they put that heavy a steering on the car. Frankly, again, maybe it's me being used to a truck. I didn't notice any of that whatsoever. This car works fabulous. I've enjoyed driving it the entire time I've had it, and really it's a hard car for me to actually give back, and I don't say that a lot. This is a car that I personally would go out, buy, own, drive, and would love every minute of it. As I turn to head back here, I'm going to pull over for just a second and get Richard's opinion. He drove this for a little bit. He and his wife both are in the market for a car, and they've been looking, and I know they're looking more for the SUV side of the fence. And I know this is a little bit more of a luxury vehicle, higher price probably than what they're looking at. But Richard, what's your overall opinion of the vehicle?
I thought it was awesome. There's not a whole lot else to say. The technology on it is so far advanced in terms of its competitors that it's really actually rather incredible. Very easy to use, very easy to operate after you got in it. Overall, a comfortable car, and something that I got several compliments on the look of the car, as well as, wow, this is a Volvo? I didn't know that Volvo could do this. So overall, 2 thumbs up for me.
And I think the same thing for me goes what Richard just said. I had several different people look at this car, had no idea that it was a Volvo. So Volvo, great job. And I'm not saying that derogatory. Please, nobody out there think of it that way. But typically, you just don't look at Volvo as being a high-end luxury sedan builder. And this is a new thing for them. This is a great vehicle. They've done a fantastic job on it, and I hope you can just see from just the interior lines, the way things work. There's so much to talk about this car. Literally, we could do a 3-hour review, and I'm not exaggerating there. There's so many different features to this car. Best thing to do, get out in it. Go check it out at your local Volvo dealer. When you do, tell them John and Richard Rush from Drive Radio sent you.